I've had a lot of discussion about this crisis. We've talked and talked and talked in the time past. Everybody has identified the problem, and there is no solution. You get my point? And I mentioned already that when a problem is uncontrollable, what you do is settle for what you find. I mean, airline operators were thinking of, can we go and start refining? And I said that is unnecessary. It's a digression from what they are called to do as airline operators. The airline operation itself is so demanding that they should get diverted into another area of business, because that business of refining or importing petroleum is a tedious business on its own, with its own challenges. And at the end of the day, you might not even get it cheaper, or even make it more available, because the cartel that are doing it already, they know how to do it. So it's a digression. I suggested to the airline operators, go and join AFRA, African Airline Association, where they are already buying together. They buy fuel together when it's available. They even hedge. They buy a price today in anticipation of increasing inflation into the future. They hedge, and they're getting some good advantage from that cooperation. What the airlines need to do now is to cooperate, given the circumstance. Whatever you buy, whatever you see, buy it, factor it into your economics. If you buy at whatever rate, factor it. There's an index that helps you to determine your tariff. Factor it into it. The fuel is X amount. If your interest rate is X amount, factor the interest rate on currency, factor that on fuel, factor that on manpower, and whatever into that indices. Get your tariff, economic tariff fixed.
Okay, sir, is there really aviation fuel scarcity? Because an interview I had with somebody, he said yes, the price of aviation fuel is high, agreed, but there is no scarcity.
Well, I'm not in a position to talk about whether aviation fuel is available or is not available, whether it is scarce, whether people are manipulated. I'm not in that sector.
Okay, but what they have said is that most airlines that are owing, the fuel marketers are not supplying them until they pay their backlog. So now what they are doing is cash and carry.
The cash and carry in the aviation sector has been on for a long time because of liquidity challenges. Okay, cash and carry is not new. So I won't believe that it is because they are owing. I won't believe that. Many years back, many years back, and I can remember in our own days in the 90s and the early 2000s, it was like that because cash is king. And the economic health of our Nigerian airlines has not been too sound. You know, when you package assets together and your book looks good, assets is not nearly cash. Cash is what you take to the market. And credibility in this market is tough. So that may have no correlation with scarcity. If aviation fuel is available and these operators have schedule, they will pay the cash.
But some people are saying that the international airlines who operate into Nigeria are not complaining.
Beautiful. That means they must be getting fuel at whatever price or from other locations. Don't forget that most of them are originating from their home country. They touch down in some other points before coming to Lagos. So if they are not complaining about fuel, you need to find out from them. Are you lifting fuel for Nigeria? If you confirm from there, they say yes, then we'll be able to reconcile what the statement is with the Nigerian operators. But I want to agree that they will not be crying foul about fuel scarcity if it is not scarce. Okay. I don't agree with that.
Okay, so what should they be doing? you've made a suggestion earlier that it can also align with AFRA. Are there other solutions that you can give so that they can manage passengers?
In my own mind is sell what you buy. I just said that factor that is uncontrollable. The word is uncontrollable. You can't control this factor. Swallow it. This is a pill, bitter pill, but it's needed for your health. Buy the fuel. But the caution is, don't operate empty seats anymore in the name of competition. Our operators don't cooperate. Yeah. And I said this is the time Spring Alliance should come really alive. If other members that were not there should go and join. Make sure that you operate a harmonized schedule. Don't just parade your aircraft because you must parade. The seat that is not sold is perishable. Okay? Therefore, every seat must be sold at whatever tariff you fix. So that all of you at the end of the day, if Asma is operating this flight, all of you feel that aircraft. If Airpeace is operating this, all of you feel that aircraft. At any 1 hour, there is a flight that is regular, that is safe. Not all of you. 10:30, all of you Asma here. And everybody's carrying 40, 50.
But sir, over the years, what you have said now has always been the sing song. But Nigerian airlines are not listening. Unfortunately.
And that is why what killed the father is killing the son. You see, 10 years cycle, Nigerians don't learn from people's experience. They learn from their own experience. And your own experience is bitter. By the time you are beginning to learn from your own experience, you're on the verge of collapse. Because your pocket is already an empty basket. It's deep down. Go to the banks and you see how they are groaning already with the airlines. Some banks even say, I'm not borrowing to airlines. We don't learn. We must learn from people's experience. 10 years, the era of Cabo, Jadangi. 10 years, the era of ADC, Bellevue. 10 years, the era of Sosoliso, and all the rest of it. And 10 years, Arik, Aero, see what is happening.
But is there any way government can come in, probably assist the airlines in this trying period, then NCA also helping the airlines to plan their business whenever they say, okay, a particular airline want to start a business, maybe assist them to have a document that can help them understand the nitty-gritty of this business, because most of them seem not to understand.
You are inviting two people to come and do the job a professional is supposed to do. The government does not know how to run the airline. They're supposed to make environment conducive.
Okay, in what area?
From the CAA to the Ministry of Aviation, make the environment conducive. How? The operators know what is good for him, and day by day they are profiling solutions. The one that government can tackle in terms of regulation is what NCAA is doing. Because as an operator, they are expected to even know more than the regulator. I'm the fellow set up to deliver a service. My standard is supposed to be higher than what the regulator is saying for competition purposes. You understand me? So as a regulator, the man says, hey, your standard is supposed to be even higher than this, see where you are. So I'll stop you. It doesn't have to get to that level. It is a failure on part of that professional operator. Okay? And that's the job of NCA. They cannot come and recommend to you how to do the business you claim to know. That is when NCA. The job is to ensure that minimum standards are met. You as an operator should operate above minimum to stay afloat in business and compete. From government side, government needed to do round pegs in round holes, not square pegs in round holes. We don't need political appointees in our regulation. Appointments and things like that in aviation is so unique. We need people who have tried it. who have failed perhaps and have learned from their failure. We don't need somebody who was political scientist, a PhD from one university, and is coming as the director of commercials in aviation and is monitoring airline. When he sits before an airline, the guy will just be dreaming because he doesn't know what a passenger is. He doesn't know what a ticket is. He thinks he has been flying and he knows what the ticket is. It is not. The ticket is a contract document. And because he doesn't know, he could not even pick tariff. He doesn't know the difference between tariff and the whole money collected. The whole money collected is not the income for the airline.
Okay, sir.
So you need to put round pegs in round holes. We don't need political appointees as directors of most of our parastatals. Our CAA, as we speak, has no board. And the board is supposed to be the responsible accounting officer of that ministry.